Uh, hey everybody, welcome. Welcome to Children of Rath. I would miss you, honestly speaking. I'd miss all of you if you also and if you suddenly passed away. But like, you know,
I'll never die.
at least for Joe, I know I can prop up his corpse somewhere and Weekend at Bernie's it.
Hey.
The second movie, which will animate it using voodoo.
I am not a flesh puppet.
Not yet.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you never know what will happen.
That's why.
One person who would have probably liked that, and unfortunately, he can't be.
That's why we'll taxiderm you. Well, this is my stuffed friend Joe. Anyway, hi, yes, welcome to Children of Rath. We're playing D&D, if you didn't notice, which you wouldn't have with that insanity. So, players are really quiet. Oh, yeah, let me play with that. I see that here. Nat, you fix the players. Okay.
Now we're really loud.
No, now you're at normal level of noise, technically.
I hate being normal level of noise.
Yeah.
I'm not normal in any way, so.
I can see that your audio is down a little bit. I hadn't turned it all the way up from switching out from video games because it's... Unfortunately, my audio mixer is very simple. Anyway, so last time, on their amazing adventures, they took a ride on a boat. I mean, it's a little bit more
got
than
to
that.
college.
And you got to college. So you've arrived at Talaria West, which is effectively the main campus of the Talari Academy. As I kind of described last time, to kind of give an idea of where everybody is. Oh, and everybody did level up to 10 at the end of last session, so everybody's 10th level now. For those of you paying attention to that part of the campaign, like levels and stuff. But the original Talarian Islands were destroyed, technically, in a very problematic stuff going on during the invasion. New Talaria is built on the Spice Islands. And as I said, like, Talaria West, which is the main campus built in the style of the original Talaria, was built using a lot of material and by a lot of the people from the original Talaria. It's probably a few hundred years old now, so it's basically like in the decades after the invasion, it was built up, you know, by old alumni within the Spice Islands, which is a large archipelago west of Ariona, the continent you were on for forever. So, at this point in time, you're on the island kind of where main Talaria is, which is kind of like a combination of a few islands that changing waters, rising land, has created natural land bridges between them, so it kind of creates a network of islands that are all interconnected, but it's got a lot of like straits and bays and stuff that are very obvious and things like that make a very interesting geography. The main campus, as I previously described, is seemingly a combination of a lot of large, very large towers and buildings all kind of crammed together, attached directly. So it feels like the college campuses you might visit in modern day, except all the buildings squeezed together in one area, so there's not a lot of like open area. You've been escorted to an area where it seems as though like new people to the island can stay. Or there's, I think, dorms effectively that you've been led to. You can find rooms, of course, within the college itself if you want to later on. There are a number of small like towns and villages nearby that support the place. You were at one where the main docks were. Currently, you're led to like, as incoming returning students, you were led through the building, and you were taken to... You're eventually like taken to this area where you can rest for the night, which seems to be kind of like a little bit of like a public dorm area. So you don't have specific rooms assigned to you yet at this point in time. You can set yourselves up. The person that was accompanying you... my niece is getting upset about stuff. Of course. But I was saying, the person that was accompanying you will be back in the morning. We'll send someone in the morning to communicate with you and figure out what's going on with your current places you're staying, and then you got to get classes in the morning. So that's kind of where you left off. So
Okay, well, question.
Mm-hmm.
How long is a semester? Because we're going to need to then find lodging for that long.
The thing about classes at the place here is a lot of the classes kind of run in year lengths. The thing about them is that they aren't set that you could join in the middle of a class, and as long as you have some of the proper background in it and join it, you usually are fine. It's all about, practical studies, because it's magic. So it's as long as you can join in and, understand what's going on, it doesn't matter if you join up in the middle. There are a couple of, studies that go about half a year, some of them that go for a full year of classes. Others that go for maybe, seminars that go for maybe a few months. A few times they get guest speakers in who can talk. Usually old alumni or spellcasters from either other Tolarian academies or other places in the world. Currently, there's kind of the main tracks. The main tracks are kind of divided in usually differentiated in this kind of way. You can usually kind of find studies under the general guidelines of these schools of magic. That's probably the easiest. But then it breaks down a little bit more. There's also guidelines of study that lead under specific classes of spellcasters or specific types of magic, divine or druidic magics do show up, but they have a lot of much more stringent class schedules. Traditionally, the idea of someone who is taking something like druidic or shamanic magic, when they're here at the academy, they're less studying the actual shamanic magic, and they're more studying specific elements of their own magic, things like weather manipulation, elemental manipulation, summoning creatures to your age, doing stuff like conjuring, stuff that breaks down as to being parts of it that relate to the wizarding. Same with divine magic. Things like healing magic especially can kind of come up too. Judging the fact that with the nature of the large amount of kind of technically celestial energy in the world, with Caesarean Church and her angels, there is a good number of celestial sorcerers, actually. That seems to be one of, draconic and celestial sorcerers are the main ones that you find, especially going to the academy. So there are classes on healing that delve at it from very much more arcane / learning edge of things, Granted, sorcerers, wizards have very different ways of going about things. But again, it's all about the practicality of practice. How you go about that tends to be they'll teach you the general understanding of what it means on a very mathematical, scientific way, and the thought patterns between developing magics. It's up to you whether then you use formulas and math to develop those, or you look inside yourself for inner strength in order to develop them. There are some classes that kind of go into sub things, as you saw before. There are music-based magic things for going for more for bards and stuff like that. So there's a lot of you kind of will want to especially here at the main campus. Before, you were kind of staying around for a couple of months and choosing classes kind of willy-nilly. You were planning for a little bit more long-term stay while you're here, I assumed, right?
Yeah.
So you're probably going to stay who knows how long, but at least maybe half a year. If we say you're half a year, you probably want to go to roll in a proper education line. Now, that means you can either have to choose a specific what we call class line, a school line, or specialized line, which I can talk to you about some of those. Specialized lines are things when you study going into a temporal mechanics. Sometimes there might be artificery specifically, the actual artificery rather than just being an artificer. Alchemy, archaeology has its own line. There's a couple other very specific, unique lines of magical study that do exist out there. So you probably want to, for each of yourselves, think about like what kind of education there is. Wintress's idea of a kind of general magical education does exist too. That one it is very much more a lot more basic classes. It tends to give you a lot more classes, but there's still a lot of class options. Like one of you, you might want to take, like, if you're looking into transmutation, you might want to take something like superficial, mundane, transmogrification. If you're studying, like, technically, like, divine magics kind of combined with a enchantment kind of focus, you actually might want to do things like useful exorcisms. Because that's kind of the reverse of it, and it kind of goes... When you learn something like enchantments, you learn both ways. So you see how there's like very interesting classes for each of those. I'm probably not going to dive too much into depth for each of you for what kind of like your class schedule for be, unless there's like something specific that you'd like to like learn about, then you let me know about that one. Otherwise, it's more about like what kind of class line are you looking for?
I think specifically I'm getting like the equivalent of a magical engineering degree.
Okay. That is
like,
an actual thing.
Yeah. Like focusing on like construction largely. Obviously, you know, shipwright is like, that's my whole bread and butter.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it can move on from there too to other things like probably a little bit of biomechanics, if that's a thing. I did just replace my lungs.
If you are looking for that,
yeah, you know, some transhumanist bullshit.
Yeah. There definitely is a way to look at that for, like, you know, a practical, like, you know, you'd probably study because there is actual, like, things for, like, manipulating, like, things physically, replacing things with artifice and bodies. The transhumanist level of things does exist in the academy, but tends to be fewer classes, just because, like, there's slight stigma on both, if you're looking at it on the mechanical side, and if you're looking at the more biological side of manipulations.
I wonder why.
Well, it's that entire thing of, like, Phyrexians are more for mechanical, and for more biological, there's a group, there was, Gatha, who was known for performing, genetic experiments on people.
I just want to replace my body parts with machines, man. I'm not looking for, like, unethical science and shit. Unless it's against my own body, then I am fully looking for some unethical science.
The thing is, there are classes that are related to that, which will probably be relatively ethical. They skirt the line, basically, of, like, what would be considered the modern-day ethics of the Academy and of the world's kind of magic. They probably don't get into depth about, you know, like, some of the full-scale stuff that you're kind of aiming into, just because of the nature of, like, trying to avoid diving into the depths of creating a new a new group of Phyrexians or something, you know.
Right, of course. I'm not trying to invent a life.
Create new Phyrexia.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they exist, and apparently they're doing stuff, but that's an entirely different problem that you haven't faced yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking into the general, like, engineering section of thing and some, like, transhumanist classes, which you can find some that are very interesting. Definitely, You could probably, if you want to join one of the main pedagogical lineages, you could definitely. The Urzins are what we call systematic synopsil, focusing on artifice, temporal mechanics, and genetics. So they have, they are very much more the mechanical side of things.
That sounds fun.
Yeah. Like, the Rayans do still focus on improvement of artifacts and recruitment to the college. So they still have that level of artifacts. But the Urzians, they, you know, probably would be more on your side. Because they do have that idea of artifice and improvements. You probably would find some people that you could get very interesting discussions on of whether, like, mechanical or biological replacements would be the better one if you are attempting to upgrade your body.
Yeah, they probably have contributed to my lungs.
So we kind of figured out what Kaz is doing. Does anybody else have an idea of what they're doing while at college? Wintress, you were going for general studies, yes?
Yeah, because all she knows is, like, some weird stone magic. And it's interesting. But she has no clue. She just knows how to do it. She doesn't really know what it means.
Well, you could probably go to some classes on elemental magic, too. So general studies and elemental magic will probably be, like...
yeah.
Okay, Claude?
Well, history's a big one.
Well, that's kind of like you can take classes on history, but they probably don't really teach a lot of actual classes on history.
Specifically, if they have anything on races that might no longer exist.
What you can probably find is practical applications of past magics and how to upgrade them into, like, modern day settings. So they probably do, in a way, study the old history and ancient magics and races that exist in groups that existed in the world. But it's rather than study them on the practical time of learning about them, it's more learning about the magics that they had and how to use them in positive applications, because you don't want to recreate some of those issues that existed.
Okay. Well, that would be interesting. Of course, probably some more on... yeah. My brain is dead tonight.
Exactly.
Warlock. Pack magics.
There'll probably be some classes on the general use and development of pack magic. And that it probably kind of, it's seen as something that is feasible, but also tends to have a dangerous level to it.
Right.
Because unfortunately, most of the things that, most of the packs that tend to exist, rarely are with things that have good intentions for the world.
And
like fiends.
I guess also maybe some classes on transmutation, because that could give me some glimmers into my own abilities.
Yeah, that sounds like a good... so we'll say you're probably, like, on a transmutation line with subheaders of the historical magics and pact magics. Carrie.
Well, like Claude, probably some history in there, ancient history, where we came from, that sort of thing. Magic-wise, probably mostly divination, actually. Divination and illusion, both. But, like, a major focus on any divination magic she can consume.
Okay, yeah, you can have, like, a full studies on the divination line of schools of magic, with some classes diving into the illusions side of things. That sounds perfectly fine. And we'll figure out what Maxwell wants to do next time, definitely, when he's...
Sing!
Sing.
Maxwell wants to invent the School of Business.
The
That
magical school of business.
sounds like him, unfortunately.
Well, it could be a study on magical artifacts and
Marketing.
Branding. He's gonna need to invent the brand.
Okay. So Radiant's gonna go for alchemy and monstrous magic, basically for unusual races that are non-standard races, kind of classes, like learning about utilizing your own internal abilities. Latoul is going to study specifically elemental and water magic classes, just because it matches with her theme, and practical studies for some basic pact magic too.
So basically, we're gonna have to rent a dorm house.
I'm joining a frat, apparently.
It's a wizard frat, so it's weird.
I'm going like full Revenge of the Nerds here.
They're taking Kaz. It's already weird.
They're all nerds, though, so it's not really easy to revenge those nerds, except against other nerds.
No, they're getting revenge against us because I did accidentally set fire to one of their buildings, probably.
That sounds practical.
Other than that, yeah, we should totally rent a dorm building. That'd be rad.
That's pretty much what we need.
Yeah. I'm on board with getting like a chill townhouse or something.
Because like renting an inn is going to be probably a lot more expensive than like renting an actual just house.
Who'd be crazy enough to give us a house though?
Well, it's a college town. I'm sure there's places that like have like you could rent.
That's true. I managed to get a house.
A house.
I did. It's a townhouse I live in.
It's a house.
I've never had to acquire a house before, so I'm gonna leave this to y'all.
Oh, I'm the active face.
Are? Yes.
Don't trust me, you'll find us a drug
Face
den or
pog,
something.
face.
I don't know. I don't really have good housing references. My credit score is impeccable. But I don't have like previous houses that I've lived in where the people that I've rented, where the owners were like, yes, we would absolutely rent to this pyromaniacal goblin again.
Maybe not mention that you're a pyromaniacal goblin.
Obviously, I'm not going to measure. Well, I'm not going to be the one going to the meetings to rent the house. That would be a bad idea.
I guess that'll be my first piece of business, is trying to find us a residence.
Okay. Well, you'll kind of spend the evening at first, where, in the morning, though, you'll, the, man who was kind of, accompanying you before, will, come and say, like, greetings, everyone.
Greetings.
How are things for all of you?
These are fine. We have our classes set and everything, and that's always fun.
Excellent. Why don't you come with me? As I've received words from the master of the academy that she wishes to meet with you before you set up for your classes and look into getting some kind of housing. You will just inform me about if you're planning to stay at the academy proper or using one of our many dorms, or you're planning to look outside the academy. Have you a decision on that end?
There's kind of a lot of us. I think we were thinking off-campus housing.
One of the many small villages around the main Talarian island here would be your best bet. Most of them are within half an hour to an hour's walk of the campus here, fortunately. A few of them are farther off, but if you have anything like flight or basic teleportation magic, you might be able to make it to classes in time. Anyway, follow me, please.
Following.
Eat.
You'll be led through the building to what it seems to be a administration area of the school, and you'll be led up to like an area that seems to be of a number of offices into a large kind of office with a kind of probably like in one of the towers that seems to have this very nice balcony you can see on the back with these large kind of glass doors that are opened up. You can see that there's a number of like bits of like art and stuff over there. Kind of decorating the room. It actually seems relatively simple. You will notice that there is actually like a it looks like a number of outfits hanging up on the wall that seems traditional Bogarden outfits, like on display.
Interesting.
There's a woman behind a desk. She's kind of a little older. You can notice that she's got like this kind of set of glasses on that have this like look to be like almost like an attachment for like a monocle type thing, except like that's kind of like can like be put in front to like look, and then the front of that there are all these kind of like this array of lenses that are connected to that, so like you can like put down like the kind of like looking monocle and then switch out lenses that are in the front of it. She kind of got like black, kind of scraggly hair, and she's like, welcome. I believe you are Carrion, yes?
That's me.
Excellent. An old friend of mine sent me a letter. I didn't expect to hear from him. Quite interesting. Letting you know that you and your group would be arriving.
Who?
Nim?
Yeah. That
No, that makes sense.
He's made our lives interesting.
Wherever he goes, he makes everybody's lives interesting.
That's true.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, it does sound quite right.
But I can say that about plenty of folks that are around this area. Regardless, though, I'm hoping that your stay here can be a good one, and that, well, I don't want you to feel pressured in anything because you are knowledgeable about things from him and that you have some experience in the world, it seems. Traveling alongside one that will take you into the most crazy of places. Your time here in the academy, and especially since it seems like you do have some experience at the academy. With your time here, I hope that you can relax, learn a few things about yourselves, and maybe develop yourselves as better spellcasters, mages.
Yeah.
If you need anything that could assist you also, I'm willing to offer assistance as best I can. I understand that you don't necessarily need help or want help, and I won't be pushing anything. But if there's something that I can be of assistance with because of my knowledge or connections here, I wouldn't be against giving it the basics, effectively.
Well, thank you.
You're friends of associates of an old friend. And because of that, I want to be at least reasonable friends with you also.
We could always use more friends in our corner.
That's true. believe that would be a very useful thing. Well, not useful in that like we're going to use you or anything. That's not what I meant.
Helpful.
Helpful. Yeah, that's the word.
Yeah, no one ever said we were good at words, just magic.
Yes.
What's a magic?
Interest, you've literally done magic before.
You have to remember that the idea of studying magic here at Talaria is split into two. I try to give a speech similar to this to all new classes when the year starts, but since you're coming in the middle of the year, it's a little more difficult. Half of your time here will be learning the laws of magic. There are laws that govern how it works, no matter where your origin of study comes from or your origin of power. The other half will be learning how to, well, bend those rules and manipulate them in such a way that you find new magics or new ways to understand the universe. It'll be interesting to see how well you do and what you learn. Well, are there any questions that you have for me about their studies here? Anything I can help you with? No? Excellent. Dr. Aragongi, I hope that you can accompany them where they need to be for now, and we'll talk more later. And my door will always be open.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent. Oh, and if any of you want to ever need pointers at pyromancy, that's my main area of study. At least it originally was.
I just look at you, Kaz.
You know, I heard. I might take you up on that offer.
Alright, Arangi will lead you into the area and kind of into an area where, like, it feels a combination of, like, a library and a office. It's got, like, lots of books, all kinds of books. And there seems to be, like, these people where you're going to be left off with a woman who will introduce herself as Leah. Leah. I'll put that in the chat here. I'm Leah. I will be helping you out. The thing about the Talarian Academy here, the main academy, is that we pride ourselves on having a variety of magical studies. There are main classes and secondary classes, and there are even tertiary classes. The main classes are usually taught by one of our many deans or major professors. They'll be your general ones. Things from basics on conjuring to more advanced things like temporal mechanics. There's lots of classes like that. They tend to be ones that are either in specific classrooms or amphitheaters for proper learning. Amphitheaters will often have practical demonstrations associated with them. Secondary classes are a little bit more personal. They tend to be smaller classes that go for less of the year. They're ones that are in either specialized classrooms, laboratories, or such, or smaller classrooms where much fewer people are wanting. More advanced classes tend to be taught by those, or more specific classes. Our tertiary classes are ones that are either taught by specific people visiting lecturers, or when people sign up for them, they tend to be taught by specific individuals within the academy that study that sort of things. I can help you look through the various books at various classes and kind of guide you to what you're looking for. But it depends on how one-on-one you want to be with various teachers and things like that. I hope I can be of assistance in leading you to these various places.
Thank you.
So, either you can kind of go by her guidance, or if you want, you can make a check to look through all these goddamn books with her slight guidance. She will give you... Either she's basically going to give you, like, basic classes to what you're kind of studying, which she has insight in. Probably a lot of primary classes. A few secondary classes. Or if someone wants to make an investigation check with advantage, you can maybe look into see if there's anything more specific or interesting within your fields of study that exist, especially in amongst the tertiary classes. Up to you, folks. All right.
Wow, Kazarian. Yeah, sure. I'll try to investigate with my +0.
Yeah, you get advantage.
Kaz and Carrie are both very much nerds.
17.
Mm-hmm.
Kaz and Carrie are the party nerds.
Mm-hmm. She teaches metal bikini magic. That is weird. Joe, who?
Leia.
Leia, because Princess Leia.
Oh.
You lose nerd cred there.
I was thinking of an entirely different Leia also when I came up with the name.
Diablo Leia?
No, I was thinking of Stardew Valley.
Yeah.
I don't know Stardew, so...
Taylor, that's because you've been playing so much Stardew Valley.
Yeah. So
I can't blame you. It's a great game.
In his
Good game.
Mm-hmm. I've been playing a lot. That's how I came up with the name. Mm-hmm.
I know nothing about that game, so...
It's like Ultimate Farm plus everything else simulator. It's
the fishing sucks ass, but it's so much fun.
Yes, and there's also combat. It's a lot. Anyway, all right. So I'm assuming Wintress is just letting Miss Leia help her out choosing classes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wintress is like, no, you think this one's okay?
Yeah. Oh, this one's a great one for you. Don't worry about that one. Oh, that one you'll love to see. Judging from what you've been explaining to me, you probably want to take this one. Basics of Earth Elemental Magic. That might help you with your rock-based magics, which seems to be a specific deviation from basic elemental. There might be a few things that you couldn't use, but the rest of these, I think they would be practical to you. Anyway, so she'll help you out. So Claude. She'll also help you out looking for some classes.
Yeah, I figured I probably still need some help there.
That's a tough one for what you're looking for. Well, it seems like you've gotten the basics of pack magic classes down. Here's a class here that you might want to take. Your Pact and You. It's specifically for the very few people that to take. It's a secondary class. For those of us that have mastered pack magic, since you seem to have mastered it with a incarnation of death itself, that's very unique. I've never heard of that one. Most of the time, it's usually things like demons or angels. Things like that tend to have it. A few times a couple dragons or powerful like elemental or fey like creatures, nature creatures tend to give packs. So yours is very unique. I've never heard of it personally for myself, but that doesn't mean that whoever's running that class won't. Here, I can also offer you classes on, let's see here. There's one, if you're looking for historical things, there's what we can learn from the Theran and their rise and fall and their magics. And also this one here on the rise and fall of Argivian magic and the effects of the Brothers' War. That's more on the artifice side if you're looking for that, but it does have history. You'd probably be learning a lot about the artifacts and stuff left over from that war. But if you're looking on a historical thing, it will at least dive into the history of what was going on there.
That still sounds interesting.
Alright then, great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Carrie. Let's see here. I can offer some of the similar classes to your friend there when it comes to historical magics. I don't know if there's any other ones that you'd specifically be looking for or time periods you're looking into. Were you interested in... I think there is a tertiary class based on, that teaches some of the magics, black mana manipulation magics that were invented in some of the ancient empires of Urborg, including Navinaral.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything related to Urborg, I'm in.
Alright. And then, let's see here. You're probably going to want to have practical divination here. That's nice class. Here's a couple here. And we'll get some good classes on that. On that kind of thing. Alright. There are some very powerful... do you want physical or illusionary? With your illusionary magic, there is a class on duplications that study both physical and illusionary duplications you might want to buy. Our Dean of Iteration, one of their main deans, actually teaches those classes. Practical duplication. That's probably a good class for you.
Yeah. Maybe I could duplicate myself, and sometimes when people try to hit me, they'd hit not me.
Exactly. So, Kaz.
Hi.
Kaz.
Hello.
Things like, probably practical duplication on the more, like not illusionary side might be up for you in that one. But also you're probably going to want to go into, like, a lot of interesting transmutation classes. Your mechanical engineering, you can look at to some various artifice. You'll notice something strange as you're looking through some of the books in the tertiary section. There seems to be, like, a specific... Like, it's weird because it's an application, almost. It's like an application within the book, like written on a page, that you like just noticed by chance. It's kind of like very hard to spot, and you notice it. It's like learn, and it's like, you know, looking for assistance. Want to learn more about what it means to accept existence and overcome it.
I'm intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very intrigued.
Let your legacy... what it means to have a legacy which goes on forever.
I believe I'll be taking this immortality-based teaching assistantship.
All right. So you'll take that one up too.
Yes.
Your NPCs will get their various classes, will sign up for various things, get themselves set up.
I believe we also mentioned in passing last time having one history class that everybody is taking.
You could. What history class would you want to take? It seems
Hey,
like
y'all.
there's the Urborg one is a little bit more specific, especially to Carrie, who probably could very easily, get into manipulations of black mana because demon powers make it easier for her. Just saying.
What kind of nerd-ass shit are we looking to get into, y'all?
Well, you'd probably be interested in one of the ones I'm taking.
Both
Which one was that?
Either the Thran or the Brothers War, or the Argivians.
The brother, I was thinking about the Argyles
I
one, 'cause
forgot
that
about
one dealt with artifacts and stuff.
The
Yeah, we could all
Thran were much more artifice heavy. The Thran were the people that invented Power Stones.
Oh,
Hey, I'd
yeah.
like to take a Thran history. Y'all want to take a history class of the people who invented like unstable nuclear reactors?
And who also gave birth to a man named Yawgmoth, who eventually, let's see here, tried to usurp the Empire, created a cure to Power Stone poisoning, which ended up being also known as pheresis, basically transforming people into pseudo-machines, basically created the Borg disease, and then was banished to Phyrexia.
So you created Deadites.
Yes, he did.
Y'all want to take this dope-ass sounding class?
Mm-hmm.
I'm already
Yes.
signed up for it.
Yeah, this can be our group class. Is Slithra Carthnal Kink gonna be in there?
Is the kinky boy going to be there?
Is our kinky squid boy gonna be in there?
Slipper Carter Kink might be in that one, but Slipper Carter Kink is in fact in Practical Duplications.
Oh, you lucky motherfucker.
And Monstrous
with it.
Magic. Mm-hmm. So we'll be hanging out with Radiant. Go to lunch with Slipper Carter Kink. You'll be on a balcony over the water, like it's making this horrible noises and speaking and psychically with people at the same time. As enjoying tea and eating a whale or something.
Giant crumpets.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. All right. So housing now, I guess, is your next problem. Let's take our first break here now that we've signed up for classes. Because, you're doing the entire let's get back to college thing.
Love me a good school arc.
Uh-huh. Magic School arc. We can get into crazy shenanigans.
What about Magic School Bus?
Uh-huh.
Come on, Magic School Bus.
Anybody else joining, nerd frats or whatever you want to call magic frats?
Yeah. Who wants to join? Not Greek life. Greece doesn't exist here.
Mm-hmm. Thoranian life, because they're all famous people from the original Talarian life, because it's all original Talarian major
Real Tellurian life.
Who wants to get heavily involved in some National Lampoon ass shit?
Winters would definitely join a magic sorority.
Hell yeah.
Okay, Kaz, there will be an invite for you by this group that calls themselves the Society of Mishra.
I will join this secret, not so secret society.
Uh-huh. It's sort of secret, but not quite secret.
It's not the first secret society I've joined.
Mm-hmm.
The semi-secret society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think anybody would be that group. Yep. Mm-hmm. The Society of Mishra would definitely invite you with your robot lungs.
Hi.
Your robo lungs.
My robo lungs are already paying off the fact that I had to completely destroy my old lungs in order to get them.
Mm-hmm. But we'll worry about all that after our break. If you need a drink, snack, bathroom break, anything like that, go ahead and take it, and we'll be back in a little bit here. So we'll see you in a second, folks.
In the
all of us
middle
were-
Hi, we're back as you try to sing a song and fail very horribly.
Our house in the middle of the college.
Our house
Look,
in the middle of our
Three
house.
of,
our house.
Look, we all know it's in the middle of the street, so we have to drive around it.
No, it's our house in the middle of our house.
Yeah, our house in the middle of our house.
Yeah, that's what that one spell's for, to put houses inside your houses.
Houseception?
Lumen's tiny hut.
Yeah.
Lemon's tiny hut.
Our hut in the middle of our
magnificent.
house.
Mordecai's magnificent mansion too. You can call that.
Yeah. Okay, our mansion in the middle of our house.
Actually, it's our mansion in the middle of our hut. I've cast these spells in the wrong order. I'm sorry.
It's in the middle of our house. So there's a
The
hut.
house was destroyed.
No, there's a hut in our house, and inside the hut is a mansion.
Yeah, we got like a real TARDIS situation going on here.
And it's all in a bag of holding.
No, the bag of holding would have ruptured. So bad, bro. It would have been so bad, bro.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
What do you need for some house hunting?
Crossbow.
Drugs.
You're looking for like a house to. Are you going to like? I guess.
Rent.
I don't think there really is much of a rental situation. I guess.
Fuck it, we'll buy it. We got the cash. Maxwell wanted us to invest. This is
probably
going
to be a fixer-upper.
It will probably be a fixer-upper. Sure. So you're gonna look into like.
Well, we got 2 artificers.
Yeah, you look into a fixer-upper place. That is a house, and it will be within how distance? Like out of like the small villages that support the academy. Do you want to be like a half an hour walk away?
I would say no more than a half.
That's what you think you want to aim for? Okay.
Because
Maybe.
only 2 of us fly.
Mm-hmm.
I can fly.
I can run.
I can fly.
Carrie can carry me.
I mean, I could turn into a half giant and run, but
No, look, it'll be easy. I'll just be in the bag, and Carrie, you just hold the bag.
well,
Yeah,
I guess
I
could
can
jump
hold
in
the bag, and then I can hold Claude and
Yeah,
Winter probably at the same time. Honestly,
And Maxwell can walk.
no, Maxwell can fit inside the bag too.
No. I turned into a half giant and just toss Maxwell.
We put Maxwell and the goblin in the bag.
I
Claude
sit on your head as it listed.
yeah, and then I just carry Wintress in like a bridal carrier or whatever.
No.
Oh, you're gonna baby Bjorn.
I love you, Carrie.
The others of our party can just figure their shit out. I don't care. I mean, what? The angel can fly.
Yes.
Latula will take the sewer system.
What
yeah,
sewer
Latula
system?
Fine, one. We'll invent one.
Mm-hmm.
Hang.
Maybe
I don't
there's
know. I could probably carry Hang and Wintress at the same time. I have a 20 strength.
a double
Yeah.
baby Bjorn.
And then the angel can carry Latula.
Mm-hmm.
Look, what we've established here is that Carrion is our school bus.
Our
Our
magic
magic
bus?
school bus.
Our magic school bus. Carrion, you're the magic school bus.
I am the magic school bus.
Who's Miss Frizzle then?
Me.
Also, okay, I was gonna say also carry, but I guess no. That counts.
Cad
no.
is Miss Frizzle.
No, not Kaz, me, Fish. Hi.
Oh.
I'm also a student here.
Hi, Miss Frizzle.
Miss
Okay.
Frizzle, the student.
Sorry, Mr. Man who wants to get the story going.
No, it's okay. That's fine.
We're doing shenanigans. You knew it was gonna happen.
The shenanigans always happen. I accept shenanigans and let them happen.
And you love them.
What do I need to hunt this house down?
Probably another investigation check. So someone wants to investigate looking around because you gotta like.
That's not me.
Oh, I'm so good at investigation. I
Well,
say
you
that.
and you would know what a house with good bones looks like, probably.
A house that
know.
has bones?
I know a house that's that's more difficult to burn down. Looks like
Mm-hmm.
just investigation.
Yes.
Okay, I
Oh
crit
God!
again.
Okay. Awesome. Great.
She finds the best deal on the best house.
So
I found a
actually-
house that's free and pre-built.
You'll find out, like, at one of the small villages that's about, well, actually one of the little more decent-sized villages, actually only about 15 minutes away from the academy. So it's not very far from the academy. And you'll, like, be asking around, like, you know, is there any housing that we can find? And, like, the one man will be like, we don't really have any good housing inside the place. I mean, like, if you're looking to rent a room at one of the local inns and taverns or something like that, or there's a couple of people that have housing, but I mean, there is something else. I just remembered it.
What else? What's the something else?
Well, probably about 30 years ago, there was a man, noble man, not the head of a family, mind you. Don't remember where he was from. But he came in, built a place, outside of town, about 5 minutes. Out towards, one of the cliffs nearby. Get a good view of the ocean and such. Anyway, let's just say place has been abandoned a little bit. Probably might be infested by some animals. Things happen there. No one knows for sure. Man
Is
disappeared.
it haunted? Are you trying to circumvent the whole thing, but it is in fact haunted?
It could be haunted. I don't know.
Okay.
Honestly speaking, no one goes up that way anyway. It's a little off on the area. He also built it on a cliff that was known for, well, let's just say the cliff is famous for students who feel overwhelmed by their classes.
Okay. Okay, but the house itself is fine, right?
As far as I know. There are rumors about it, because the man, well, they say all they ever found was a tongue and a pair of eyes.
Oh, that's perfect. Oh, this is perfect. I'm not gonna tell my traveling companions any of these details. It'll be excellent.
it's next to the suicide cliff, and the guy who lived there was found only has a tongue and a pair of eyes.
The question is, Kaz, who do we talk to about purchasing?
Yes, how much is this, and where is the real estate person?
Real estate person.
Well, technically speaking, it's under the purview of this village here. As for how much I'd charge you for it, well, I mean,
Might want to bring me in on this point.
it's definitely a fixer-upper, I'd say. It's been in ruin for a couple of decades. It was a pretty nice stone manor he managed to get built up in there when he spent a lot of money on it. Originally, it was probably be expensive in its heyday, but in ruin, abandoned. Not many people would want to go to a place where a man was only found with his eyes and tongue left near a cliff, which has a very unique
History.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's used that cliff in some years, but, you know, back in the day. Look, I could probably sell you the property for, 10,000 gold pieces.
Tell you what, let me get some of my companions here so we can talk this over properly. I'll be back.
Okay.
I'm gonna go back to the rest of the group. Guys, I found an amazing property. It's going to be perfect.
Oh,
It's a
no one.
cliffside manor. It's stone. It's a bit of a fixer-upper. It might be infested by animals, but what good home isn't?
So free food.
What?
Free food.
Free food. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that's my whole thing. Pre-stocked pantry, basically.
Free food, a good place for flying for me and Radiant. Cliffs are very good for flying.
Only 15 minutes from campus.
Technically 20. Technically 20. Remember, it's a little outside of town.
Right, yeah, about 20 minutes from campus. Now, I'm bad at negotiating things, so yes.
I'll talk to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's originally charging 10,000 a gold, which is that all the money that we got?
How much money
From
did you
Nin-
get?
No one ever put it in the
No, none of us.
notes. I just looked at it, and the person who I think probably had it on their sheet isn't here.
Let me check if Maxwell wrote it on his sheet.
I thought it was like 10,000. It was in platinum, but I thought it was like 10,000 gold because we set aside like 5,000 of it.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. It was a. That's right. It's so
I thought it was more than that.
you got 1,000 platinum.
1,000 platinum, which would be
10,000
10,000
gold.
10,000 gold. You're
Yes.
right.
Yeah,
So
because we
it'd
set
be-
aside
yeah, it
500.
would be our
platinum.
entire
Mm-hmm.
payment from them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, like some of us could pitch it. Like I have 900 gold right this second. So
Yeah, I got
it's been, like,
1,100.
I have 13.
Maxwell has
13
1,300.
total.
No, 1,300
Okay, I
And
thought you were
change.
13.
because I have 2 platinum pieces, 1,315 gold, 5 silver, and 8 copper to be exact.
Ooh.
This is
Also,
very
I still had 300 in the group fund already.
Can someone give me 1 more gold, please? Just 1 more gold.
Sure, I'll give you 1 gold.
You can have a.
Excellent.
Oh, okay. I was going to give
I-
it to you. But sure.
I now have 1169.
Hey.
I now have 908.
I have
Why do I have 4 electrum? What the
I have
fuck?
1,500 gold.
Okay, so also in our bag, in our group loot, we also had 300 gold, and then 32 copper, 23 silver, 15 gold, and another 2 platinum.
Mm-hmm.
We can buy a house.
This is a lot of math.
Yeah, but like let's try and negotiate first. But like, I mean, if each one of us pitches in like 250 gold at least.
Yeah, how much do the fucking NPCs have? They must be loaded, right?
Radiant doesn't use money normally. But
Okay.
technically speaking, like if you ask her, she'd be like, I don't normally travel with much gold, but as an angel of Sarah, I can acquire at any normal church a supply for uses that could be called religious in nature.
We'll put the chapel in the building.
I mean, one of the local villages does have a small chapel. I could communicate with them and arrange a payment for if I'm technically going here as a student, but I give dispensation for, I guess, forming some form of conclave in order to teach the Sarian ways. I mean, I guess I'm okay with extracurricular activity of teaching religion.
Tell them you're converting me.
I don't think that counts converting one person.
No, but
Tell them you're
very
converting a
basically,
demon.
basically, she could start an Sarah After School Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, just become one of those weird people that preaches on those corner of like the commons.
Either that or become a youth minister.
Don't force them to make you do anything, Radiant. I know how they are. They make me say weird things before I go to bed. It's okay.
What?
What? What?
I don't know what that means.
I have
What?
no idea what you're talking about.
Mhm.
You make me say good night and I'll see you in the morning. I don't want to say the things, but you're like, oh, but it's rude if you don't. Manners.
I have never said that
When
in my
have we
life.
ever said
Wait, I
that?
have a question. How's our bird?
Yeah, how's that fucking bird?
You don't know if it's alive or dead.
Bring
A
up
Schrodinger bird?
Yeah,
It's been Schrodinger's bird the entire time.
The bird's
We
in a
all-
box.
We also have
Honestly-
a golden flower and a tome.
Yes.
Oh, the tome is the gilded lotus.
You have the
Or the
Gilded
book.
Lotus and Icy Manipulator and Urza's Tome. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
We should sell some of those probably.
Mm-hmm.
Get a hella cash.
This would be the place to do it, too.
Not the flower. The flower's incredibly useful.
Yeah.
Some ghost dude fucked up and insulted all of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't remember what that is. Oh,
yes.
that was session 1. That was like session 1.
Yeah,
God.
that was the man who popped out on the boat. It was like, hey.
Right, Dalton.
Your notes are so bad in the group notes.
Yes.
Leave my
I
notes
have-
alone.
Look, I have my own private notes that are like very different.
I love these though. Still.
Look, they get the point across, okay?
Yeah, you know what we mean.
Mm-hmm.
Those
Yeah.
notes are the only reason you remembered we had a bird in the first place.
True.
My favorite
I'm
note
gonna
is forgot
say-
what happened, but we talked to a dude with the thing that goes vroom vroom.
Look,
I don't know what the fuck that means.
The
Only-
submarine dude.
only now do I even remember, because you guys looked up the bird stuff. Do I remember you had a side quest from? I honestly forgot that side quest too.
The side quest
I
wasn't
went back and I
important to me,
watched
okay?
that episode. It was episode like 8 or something.
It was a long time ago.
We also have a clay pot of alcohol.
No, that's since been definitely used.
It has definitely been used.
With this party, yes, it's gone.
Yes.
Okay, I'm editing the gold number, like where it says 300 gold. I'm just gonna add a 1 and a 0 in front of that to make it 10,300 gold.
It was.
And we could also
No.
technically convert the 5 belt pouches we have.
Yeah.
Oh god, okay, let me fucking okay. 2 platinum plus 1 is 5
Wow.
fucking 7 just give me
Oh, that's the name of the puppy, Ophis. That's
Yes.
Oh yeah, my lizard puppy Opus!
making me do drunk math.
Draft.
lizard
There we
puppy
go.
that shows up
10,337
once every
gold, 5 silver, 2 copper.
Okay, I'm going to delete the 5 belt pouches then. 'Cause you
Sure.
don't need that there anymore.
You say you don't need that, but you know.
I mean, it's all money. So,
Your money.
okay. So. If we all put forth. Well, first negotiate the price, see if we can get it
Right.
down to like 7,500.
Mm-hmm.
We're go in there saying 5,000, but we're comfortable with 75.
Someone make a check for that. I need a.
I will. Persuasion?
Yes, persuasion.
Well, let's see what my +7 can give me.
I mean, technically speaking, I'm giving you a really great deal on the building. I mean, the fact is, even if it's an abandoned place, like, if it was up to full snuff, you could probably spend a few 100,000 gold on it. I'm only selling it for 10, just because it's been abandoned for so long, and, well, we don't have any use for it. It's still a manor house.
This is true.
I mean, as far as I know, it's got 3 floors and a basement.
But it is infested.
Yes. It also does have some land associated behind the walls. I think it has some, like, smaller ancillary buildings, and it did have a garden that's probably overgrown. I don't know. I could probably lower it to, like, 9,000, maybe 8,500.
Do it. Take it. Take the 8,500. Take the
8,500, you have a deal.
Alright, fine.
I mean, to be fair, otherwise you're getting no money, because who else is going to buy this than us chuckle fucks who just decided to go to college?
I can't answer that question about you. What's a chuckle fuck?
Don't worry about it.
Well, that would
It's
leave us with
apparently
1,000.
like an insult from where he's from, I think.
That leaves us with 1,837 in the group fund.
1,300.
I can get together.
How much are we all pitching in?
I could probably get together like 2,000, I think, to pitch in to replace some of that group fund. Hang will be like, I don't have any money to my name. All the money that I went to getting me into college originally.
Money!
And then you left that to go to join us.
I'm back at college again, so it counts.
I mean,
Fuck, I guess it does.
I can chip in 500.
I'll chip in 3.
And this place is really cool now. It was interesting being under the ocean, but it was a little too wet for my tastes.
Okay, so that would bring us back up to 4,637.
Lutul will be like, I probably don't have money at all. I mean, since I technically might have ambassadorial status with the Vidalian Empire, but I mean, I didn't go through official channels to leave. I just got permission from the Emperor, so I don't think I can get any money. I've been relying on Maxwell to pay for all my stuff.
I'm putting in 250.
I'll put in 500 gold in a group fund and be like, look at how rich I am.
Okay,
You
so
know you can keep
me.
You can keep that. You don't have to give away all your. Neither of you have to give away all your money.
That's only one.
Oh no,
thing
I still have 815 gold. After
All right,
giving 500.
fucking whatever then.
That puts us up to 5,387 in the group fund.
You were trying to keep 5,000 at least in the group funds. I mean,
We're trying to keep 500 for his investment purposes.
So you do have
Right.
some investment purposes left over money, definitely. Then.
All right, I will.
I already edited it. I got it.
Oh, you got it.
Yep.
He's been like, well, give me a couple of minutes to find the old key. I think the main door is still locked, but probably a number of the windows are broken, and it probably might be easy to get inside anyway, but better to have the keys, especially if you fix the glass up and such.
Appreciate
I
it.
like the thought that we just dumped a pile of money on this man.
Yeah, he's like, thank you much. This will definitely help. We were planning on fixing up the old well and replacing a lot of bits of it.
Well, I hope you can do that then.
Well.
You caught it. Thank you.
And it's good that we have money left in the group fund because we don't know how much we're going to have to spend to get this place livable.
Oh, I'm just casting mending a lot. I just know that already
Yeah,
ahead
that
of time.
only works if you have all the pieces.
I have a lot of iron.
But that doesn't fix glass.
No, it does not.
Okay.
No, it
Time to
does
get a lot
not.
of glass.
I can get sand, and I have a lot of fire.
So
Yes,
he'll
You're still going to have to spend money to get some supplies.
the village headman will grab a young boy named Parn. Hi, my name's Parn. I'll lead you to the place. He's probably early teens, like 13, 14. He'll lead you down like an old road. Much of the roads in this area are still like dirt roads and stuff, except like there is a kind of a main cobbled road that leads from the academy proper to the port town. Like the entire thing is cobbled, so it's like someone like actually made like a really nice road leading up to the port town from the academy. And there's a lot of dirt roads leading off to like the still like just simple roads leading off to like the various villages and stuff. This one leads up through kind of like a nice kind of like foresty area. You get kind of like a breeze coming in. Because of the natures of the Spice Island, I'll say it's kind of like a little bit of like
Oh, do we still have our cart?
Oh God, we had a covered ass wagon. There was a horse on it.
You probably could have shipped it on your way across on the boat because you had it all the way into Benalia. We did forget about the horse in the cart, but we could have had it with you very easily during the trip. They could have just gotten it on board.
So we still have the horse and cart.
Sure.
I don't
We can-
remember the horse's name.
We can offer him a ride up to the to the place then, instead of having all of us walking.
Well,
The horse
he'll
name
be
was
on the
something like-
front of the wagon, kind of pointing
Yeah.
directions, leading you through the way. The path that you're going to go on is a little, like, overgrown, a little non-used. It still definitely has, like, that. It takes a very long time for a road to be overgrown, but the road is a little bit overgrown. The area around here, I feel like, is probably, not quite. I'd call it like a forest in something like Florida. So it's not like that, like,
It's deciduous forest.
it's deciduous. It's still like, it's kind of warm all year round in this area, just because it's not that, like, I'm trying to give a good description of, like, it's not quite Caribbean, but it's also not, like, like, I know there are forests in Florida that aren't like the,
Subtropical.
it's like
Is
subtropical.
it like
Yeah, subtropical.
Okay,
Isn't it like the trees with the moss?
The trees.
is
He's
it like
talking about Spanish moss,
Like in Florida,
like
yeah.
live oaks with Spanish.
or is it more
moss.
like Grecian? Like some archipelago ass shit?
Might be a little Mediterranean, like, kind of area here.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like the Spice Islands are not far enough south to be necessarily jungly, but they're still relatively south in comparison to, like, things. Because, like, if there is the, like, middle of the world goes across Chamorro, and, like, if you think about southern Ariona would be tropical, yeah, you definitely be, like Benalia is pretty warm. Benalia is probably very Mediterranean. I gotta be honest, So that's probably, like, you've got that same kind of, like, Florida, Mediterranean distance, away from the equator.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm doing this correctly in my brain, yeah, if I'm making, like, around where the middle line of the continent is and how far north you are in comparison to everything.
Yeah, something like that. We're a little north of it.
Yeah, you're about, like... I need to, like, look at a world map here. God damn it.
That's what I'm looking at, trying to do some geography.
I play D&D to get away from adult responsibilities.
Look, I'm gonna tell you. The amount of times I'm playing Vampire, and we have to use real word crap, and it's hilarious and wonderful. I was playing Vampire, and all of us had topographical maps of the Berlin Zoo as they're planning a break into it, and I had to take a step back and be like, what the hell are we doing? We're planning a break-in in the Berlin Zoo using actual topographical maps in Google.
Yeah, I've done that. Like, in our fucking modern D&D game, we have maps. I've looked up, like, nearby restaurants and their menus.
Yep.
Yeah, you do that kind of thing, and it's hilarious and ridiculous.
I didn't expect to go to college and buy a house in
Yeah.
a game when I can't do it in real life.
Okay, yeah, so I'd say, yeah, the area of Talaria, it's probably, like, very Florida, maybe southern Georgia at most, that kind of territory. But it's also on an island, so that kind of increases, like, the changes of it. So I'd say it's definitely very, like, Florida tropical, like, subtropical forest, So it's... There
End of the day, we're in hurricane territory.
You are definitely in hurricane territory. I would say that the Spice Islands, because they're just a whole crapload of islands, you definitely could get storms in this area.
I mean, looking at, like, a map, we're roughly Hawaii. Like, roughly location-wise?
You might be a little farther north than Hawaii, just a little bit.
Little, yeah.
Yeah. So it's still probably pretty warm, I'd say, like,
Yeah.
year-round. Probably doesn't really have much of winter. Definitely.
We've landed on... Lindsay was right, we're
Uh-oh. Yeah, subtropical.
subtropical.
Yeah.
So anyway, now that we figured I just wanted to figure out a good way of describing the forest, and I just couldn't think of it in my brain other than being like, let's look this up and discover it. And yes, it's subtropical. Okay, so like there's a nice subtropical forest, so it's kind of like overgrowth a little bit. It's kind of got the warm, a lot of like plant life and stuff, a lot of undergrowth, vines and stuff growing up into plants and stuff a little bit too. Kind of interesting grasses and stuff, but it's like the forest's kind of overgrown and leads into like what it emerges is like this massive like estate. It looks like there's these large stone walls that are kind of a little broken down, have some damage to them. Mostly intact, with a set of rusty metal gates that just lie open. The boy will be like, "I've only been up here once when I was a young lad. A bunch of us came up here and, well, you know, doing ghost things and trying to tempt the spirits of the dead and all that, and we all ran away then, of course."
Understood.
Sure, yeah, that's understandable.
Running away from ghosts.
Look, not all of us are just, not everyone's capable of just violently hitting things a lot until they die. Or
can do
casting
that.
a lot of magic. Yeah, you can do most.
Or undying.
We can do that.
Over the
Oh, I'm talking about when I was a kid. I didn't even run away from.
I set fires as a kid.
there's kind of like an archway over the gate where you can see that there's what looks to be like stone carvings of like Pegasi on either side, and it's Torlin's Haven is the name over it.
We'll have to change the name.
No, we can find a better name than Torlin's Haven.
The boy will kind of like get off the wagon and be like, well, good luck to you, and I hope if there are ghosts there, you know how to get rid of them. Or if there are not, then I hope you enjoy your new house. I guess I may not see you in the village if you come in for... if you're looking for a good meal and want something different, my father and mother run the local tavern.
What's its name?
The name is the...
The name is CUDM.
The name is the Sparkling Pig.
I feel like we've already been to a pig tavern.
You might have already been to... Okay.
No, we've
Sparkling...
been to a hat tavern.
It's a Sparkling
Now?
Pig. Sparkling Boar. You haven't been to a boar tavern. It's the same
That's
thing, but
true.
sounds slightly different.
Damn, you got us.
I can't believe he got us like that.
Can't wait to continue to have more pork-based taverns.
Look, I like the pig name is an easy one.
How bad are the gates?
I mean, they're pretty rusty. It looks as though the lock is just broken on it. There was like a locking mechanism. It looks like the gate could have also been barred from the inside, but the bar is nowhere to be seen. You can definitely see the house in the back. There was it looks as though there was on a kind of like a cobbled path that led up to it. But you can see that the area is overgrown in here, definitely. So you don't see any sights of what might have been on the estate proper. And it's a couple 100 feet back is where you can see the building. The building is visible now. It's a large kind of overarching manor house. You can see that's multiple floors. There are vines and mosses growing all over it. The windows are damaged. It looks as though there are some damage to the roof. The cobbled path in front of you is kind of overgrown, kind of broken. And you can see that there was once a fountain in the center of it that seemed to have a number of angelic figures, kind of probably that water would kind of pour out of. The entire statue system has actually broken and fallen over. And has broken part of the fountain, the side of it. And so it's the big chunk of stone came down and crushed one of the sides.
Does anyone have a scythe or...
I do, I have a sickle!
Because we're going to need to mow this lawn.
I've had a sickle since we fucking started. I've never needed to use it, but I have one.
So there's kind of a line of trees that leads you in that probably would have been well maintained at one point in time. Other than that, it's really hard to tell what's around this area just because you're looking through these gates at the ruined building.
Well, let's head in.
I'm going to be spending some time working on these walls, I feel like.
I could go into giant form and trim some of the trees and stuff.
It'd be helpful. What
I
going to
can
make this
make
place
rolls
look
if you need them.
That's
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that
Oh.
too.
What was that, Karen?
Carrie is volunteering to be the demolition crew. Just the entire crew.
Wintress wants to help.
Winterus, we might need the use of your hook and rope in order to help lift things up higher.
Also, if there's a lot of animals in here.
My
What if
hook
we
is
hunt
sharp,
and eat
so
them?
I don't think that my hook can actually grab things.
No, but you see, we have the hook, and then we have a rope attached to the hook.
But the hook will just.
We'll attach a
Cut
chain
through
to
it.
the hook.
Yeah, a chain.
But then that'll dull the blade.
You can sharpen them again.
Wait, can't you just, like, levitate rocks?
Yeah,
We'll just use that instead of the hook.
I can levitate rocks as long as. As long as it's under 500 pounds.
Yeah, we can make that work.
But I need Carrie to move the rock.
Oh, someone would have to push it. She could just levitate it.
Oh, sure. Look, we'll make it work.
Should we make an aerial survey of the location? Either I, myself, or Carrie can take a look at what's around.
You both could. Divvy it up.
True.
I have a stone horse that can help with pulling things.
That would be useful.
Yes.
Should we also see what it looks like inside?
Probably.
I call the biggest room.
If you want, I could scout it out in case there is anything dangerous in there.
Okay.
Oh, I'm coming with. I wouldn't miss this. It's lunch.
Okay.
What if it's a ghost? I want to punch a ghost.
Can you punch a ghost?
I don't know. That's why I want to try.
That's
You're
fair.
covered in flowstone, technically, right?
Anyway,
Is that how your invisibility works?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's
in
like
other words, maybe I could punch a ghost.
she has like a thin layer of them all over her skin.
Yeah.
Something.
I have a new spell that might work against ghosts, and I'm very excited to find out.
All right. So, are you going to leave your wagon here, or are you going to take the wagon inside through the gates right now, or just going to walk up for now?
We should take the wagon inside. I don't want our shit stolen.
Okay.
Yeah, put it in the gates at least.
Okay. As I said, the gates, they won't close properly. They're really damaged, and, the lock is broken. There's no bar in the way, and they're just...
Yeah, but we can put it to the side next to the wall,
Okay.
I can fix that.
where it's out of view.
Okay. You kind of move it in and out of view. I'm going to say Hang and Latula will volunteer just to watch it then, too. Radiant will come with you for now.
Okay.
Radiant will be like, if you the rest of you are going inside, I'll take an aerial survey of the place and see what I can see.
If you see anything cool, let me know.
Will do.
Kaz, if you want, I could at least move ahead of you.
Sure.
Just to give you a heads up if there is something in like another room ahead or something.
Kaz is gonna have the shield and the wand ready.
Okay.
I will grab the key for the front door.
Alright. So you'll kind of approach the front door. You can see that the path kind of goes off to either side of the building and kind of leads into some of the areas that are overgrown in the grounds. So you really can't see what else is around if there's any smaller buildings or stuff right now from this path. Like you had that tree line that was probably really nice at one point in time when you had trees lining the path, leading up to the house. Kind of marking that the forest kind of headed inside the grounds almost. But they're definitely overgrown, grown much taller probably than people wanted them to be, things like that, just everything's gone wild. Probably because, again, it's been like decades upon decades that's been left to go.
Kaz, as we're walking up, I'm going to turn to you and go, we might want to invest in a few sheep.
A few what?
Sheep.
Sheep?
Lawn maintenance.
Just have like the sheep roam around. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe, but for the climate, why not just get some tortoises?
Or goats.
Some grazing animal, then they'll just
Yeah.
roam around the property.
It'll help.
I wouldn't mind. Here's the other thing. If we get sheep, I'll be tempted to eat them sometimes.
I mean, who
We
wouldn't?
also can get milk from them.
And also get milk from them. That's true.
Can't really milk a turtle.
No, you
There's
cannot.
just something about a sheep that you feel like you should steal it, though, Kaz. Maybe ancient goblin instinct, you know? Delicious,
Yeah.
delicious mutton.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you never really outgrow the need to steal a sheep.
Uh-huh.
Right
don't
now,
have
I
to
could
steal
really
it.
go steal a sheep. Am I right, y'all?
But you don't have to steal it. It'd be yours already.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have to buy another sheep.
Yeah. So
Well,
you
the
approach
wonderful
the
thing
front of the
about
house.
sheep is they can mate.
The house looks actually a pretty decent-sized manor house. Probably bigger than the house that you were staying at in Dominaria when you were under like house arrest, but certainly not the size of the full manor that the house leader that you were staying with has. You know,
Right.
still a pretty decent-sized manor overall. The main doors are like these fine, like wooden doors. They look like well carved with these kind of iron reinforcements on them. It looks as though like all the windows have like kind of shutters on them, probably to prevent storm damage. But all the shutters are open currently, and many of the windows are broken. So it looks like when this place was abandoned, no one shuttered it up, and there have been plenty of storms enough to break the windows since then.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to need to repair a large portion of the flooring because it's been definitely warped by the storm. Or just repair. I'm going to try to cast Mending on the wood flooring to fix it. Does it, like, straighten out?
Sure. Like right here, actually, it looks as though, like, the base of the house was built was stone. So it
Oh,
looks
cool.
like, you know, there's a large amount of stone in the walls and stuff, too. So, like, they did, like, a lot of stone structuring in the household, fortunately, to make it very, structurally sound.
That's nice, at least.
Yes.
Agreed.
And
Well,
especially because of the basement, probably is like a stone basement, you assume, because you do know there is a basement here, too. You were said 3 floors in a basement.
Well, I'm going to try the key.
The door will work. The kind of like stone kind of like porch area that's kind of out from the building will have sheltered the door a little bit, so it's a little fiddly, but you'll manage to kind of get the key to unlock the door.
Might just need some oil.
And some de-rust.
Oh, I have so much oil. I have a lot of oil. Granted, this oil is meant for destructive
ruby.
rather than constructive purposes.
I
I'm willing
am
to
going to
compromise.
stealth in.
Okay. You kind of push open the main door, being as quiet as you can. So there's still a little bit of creaking because you can't get away from that from the kind of rusted hinges of the doors. Inside is the main hall, and the main hall is in fact quite impressive. You can see that the main hall goes up all 3 floors. There are 2 staircases from this kind of main floor that on either side of the room that kind of vault up to like a kind of area on the 2nd floor, and then you can see that like there is a a central staircase that leads up to the 3rd floor also in here. You can kind of see that there is some like light and dripping coming from above, as you see there was like kind of like originally above this entire thing was a glass dome, or like a reinforced glass dome that has been shattered. That was above here. There are a number of doors that lead off of this one. There are 2 doors to the side in front of the door. You can see that there are, below the staircases, if you kind of want to like, take a look around, there are 2 doors on either side below the staircase, and there's a double door in front of you.
I'll listen at the double door.
Mm-hmm. You don't hear anything.
I'll try the handle.
Okay. It moves. It looks like it's unlocked.
I'll peek in.
Okay. It seems to be some kind of main hallway that leads back into the building. There are a number of doors off of it, and it just abruptly ends at what looks to be... you can see that this entire place still has decoration. Like, there's old destroyed paintings on the walls. The place had, like, a main carpet that seemed to lead, like... that did, like, carpeted the entire floor that's kind of, like, molded and wrecked. This hallway seemed to have been, like, accompanied by busts. There are a few of them that are still intact. A few of them have fallen down. So there's, like, a set of, like... what looks to be 3 doors on either side of the wall. In between them, there are, like, little niches in the wall with busts. So there's, like, 5 of them along the walls. 2, like, right to the side, and then in between the doors, and at the end. And at the end, there is kind of, like, this statue that looks to be this kind of, like, warrior woman dressed in, like, kind of, like, very loose garbs, holding, like, a spear up.
Do I see any signs of, like, animal droppings or anything in here?
Make a survival check.
Can the rest of us make this check? Those of us who are here and...
If you followed him, he's stealthed in.
Oh, he's stealthed. Yeah, I should have stealthed in too, huh?
You don't see anything.
Okay.
I will make a stealth check.
I'll make a motion for you to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, then I won't bother with the stealth check, because it would have been bad.
Okay.
It's fine to come in now.
I don't see any signs of anything at least large in here, so it should be safe.
Well, you know, if it's a ghost, it won't leave footprints.
Well, that I can't guarantee, and you're not there. You're flying.
No, she
No,
didn't.
not.
She didn't fly.
Yeah, no.
Radiant went flying.
Oh, I thought you flew too. Okay.
No. Radiant suggested maybe doing it, and she didn't do it.
No, I was like, nah, that's boring.
Winters, you don't see anything else? No? No, you don't see any signs of any animals, at least when you're looking in this main room in the hallway, though, at least. I mean, okay, I'm going to say, the main room probably has signs that maybe, like, small rodents or stuff have been in the area. Smaller animals, nothing large. And that little hallway seems pretty sealed off, because it's like a central kind of hallway.
If you guys want to continue looking on this floor, I can check the basement.
Question, is this a bad time to mention that the person who built this place, all that was ever found of him was a tongue and 2 eyes?
What does that even mean?
That the rest of the body was never found?
So, like, were they positioned in the way of a face, or did they just find like one eye over there, and his tongue in the freezer?
All I know is that they only found 2 eyes and a tongue. An icebox.
Yeah, icebox.
A magically cold place that can be disenchanted in order to keep things cold.
Yeah, they have fucking freezers. They don't have indoor plumbing, but they got fucking freezers.
Mm-hmm. It's magic based.
Yeah.
Indoor plumbing requires science. That they have.
Indoor plumbing is a bag of holding that you take out once in a while and dump.
Bad.
A bag of holding.
Or a bag of devouring.
Like, you'll actually notice that, like, the main room didn't really have any light. I forgot to mention that there was, like, a broken chandelier in the center of the room that looks like to have been attached originally under the central staircase.
Okay, because you mentioned there was a dome in the main room, too.
Yes.
That was scattered. So wouldn't there be light coming through there?
There's light coming through there, and the windows that were on there.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, it's 3 floors. The bottom floor has the 2 stairs coming up the doors and stuff, and it looks to be definitely a main entrance foyer. You're not sure much what's on the second floor about doors and stuff, but you know there's there's probably, like, walkways all around the outside of the second floor. And it looks as though that there is a little bit of area in front, above the front door, you know, in that area. So maybe there's, like, a little sitting room up there on that side of the floor, with a central staircase then kind of leading up to the 3rd floor, which a chandelier was hanging down from, which has fallen, and then of course the dome above the 3rd floor, and you're not sure much. You really can't see what's up on the 3rd floor.
Do we want to split up and look?
The hallway with the statues also has a few remaining, looks like ever-burning candles attached to the walls for ambience. It looks as though there probably would have been some flanking each of these statues at one point in time, magical ever-burning flames, but only about a third of the ones that were in there seem to remain, either stolen or like taken away for some reason or whatever by nature stuff. You're not sure.
No.
Definitely looks like a lot of furniture and stuff is gone from this place, either taken by the family that once lived here or just looted at some points in time, because there are still some paintings and stuff remaining and like pieces of furniture remaining, but it doesn't look like the full furnishings remained, and it looks like some of it has been taken.
So, if we split up, that means we're going Scooby-Doo again.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember, Kazran is Velma? Which means that Kazran will always be the one going off alone.
Well, before you go Scooby-Dooing, let's take our second break.
Okay.
Because we're a little late for when I wanted to do it, but, we were getting into the house here. So if you're doing drink, snack, or bathroom break, we're going to go. We'll be back and do the kind of last half an hour-ish of the show as they kind of explore a little bit more of the mansion. So we'll be back in a little bit. Do, 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 do.
Punch a ghost.
Yeah!
Let's go punch a ghost! Hi, everybody, we're back! And we're punching ghosts!
It makes me feel good.
We don't know if there's ghosts yet.
Yeah, well, if there is one, I'm gonna punch it.
I'm ghosting a punch.
Busting me.
And if there's not a ghost and it's like a big giant rat, I'm gonna punch its teeth in.
Doesn't busting make everyone feel good?
I will be eating the rat.
That doesn't mean I can't punch it in the mouth first.
It's true, but I will be eating
It
it.
tenderizes it for you.
And I appreciate that, but I will be eating it.
You can eat it after I punch it in the mouth.
Yes, but I will be eating.
Well, I'm going to the basement. That's probably where the rats are going to be.
If any RPGs have taught me anything, it's that rats are stored in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I keep my rats.
Anyway. So, what's your plan?
I'm going to basement.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're going down to the basement. I'm following
Wintress
along.
wants to go to 3rd floor.
I will go to the 3rd floor with Wintress.
Okay.
Sorry for splitting the party.
No, it's fine.
So no one's investigating the rest of the 1st or 2nd floor.
No, not at all.
Nah, fuck that.
That's not interesting.
Okay.
Ghosts and rats are always at the top and bottom floors, respectively.
Well, I guess we go both go to both extremes and meet in the middle.
Okay.
Yeah, if we don't find anything, we just come back here.
All right. I was gonna give for now a summary of kind of what you find on each of these floors, just on a general basis. Okay, just to give you an idea. So there seems to be 2 staircases leading down to the basement, one under each of the doors.
Under the doors?
I mean, staircases in the main room. Sorry.
Okay, that makes more sense.
There's the one on the left, one on the right. Which one do you want to take down?
Do we want to split?
Sure, you take the left, I'll take the right.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm going to stealth.
Okay, don't bother. I'm just summarizing things right now because I will provide you guys with a full, kind of layout of this place if you want to, know what's in here. Because the manor house is very complex. Let me put it that way. And I'm gonna be honest, you're not finding ghosts. For now.
Aww.
Are we finding rats?
Not finding rats either. For now. I wasn't gonna have any actual encounters in this place for now.
Ghost rats?
Yeah, I was going to ask about ghost rats.
You don't know about in the future. So Claude.
Future ghost rat.
down in the basement, you will find what appears to be, you'll find, like, what looks to be some storage areas. You know, pretty standard for that. There's a wine cellar that's pretty decently intact still. Doesn't look like a lot of wine is gone from that area.
Stop wine cellar!
Mm-hmm. There does seem to be another area down to a second basement below there that you'll discover. That one seems pretty obvious. A couple other things that you'll find down in the basement is kind of like a little like bar area near the wine cellar. Probably just to enjoy your, like, people kind of come down there, enjoy yourself, and try some of the wine and stuff too. It seems to be stocked with a couple other types of alcohol and stuff too, probably some heavier things. There's also what appears to be a room probably for testing out magic in this floor here. You can see that there's looks like supplies of like targets and stuff, but rather than for like training for like definitely like weapons and stuff, it looks as though there's like lots of like damage that are more like a magical training area probably, which kind of makes sense that you want to try stuff out for spells, especially if you're a noble wizard. You know, you want to have that kind of place there.
Who lives 20 minutes from the academy?
What you want your own personal stuff.
Yeah,
You know?
but no, I'm saying, you know, he probably went to the academy at some point.
Well, yes, he was going to the academy. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Other than that, like, there are a couple of doors which are like iron doors which are locked down here. I'm going to tell you, like, it looks as though, like, on a quick glance, they're actually fairly well intact and have very good locks. That, you know, you might be able to get into, but it would be time consuming for you to get. So I'm going to tell you there are about half a dozen, it's about 6 doors down here you couldn't get into with just a quick glance. Well, so I'm assuming that's kind of like you're just doing a basic tour of this. The second basement, it appears to be an area for keeping stuff. Whether or not it's like specifically could be a dungeon for people or animals, impossible to say. None of it's occupied. There's nothing left in here. And it just seemed to be like barred off areas. No signs of like places that could keep chains on people, like chaining people to walls. No signs of anything in here that for keeping people, but it appears to be an area for keeping something caged up. There's about, I'd say probably about 24 of these kind of areas here.
That's a lot of cages.
Yes.
Agreed.
Or cells.
Does it look like anything got like broke
No.
out of them?
It looks like none of them were occupied probably at least at this time, or if something was in here, they were cleared out. Again, you have no sign if it was for large animals. And the ways that the bars are, it could have been for like medium-sized animals too. Like you could have probably kept dogs or cats in here. These are fairly large cage areas, so that probably would have kept multiple creatures if they kept like more medium-sized stuff. Same with people. These are pretty large for people too. Granted, it could have had people, but it definitely is like room that you could have had multiple people and stuff. You know, these aren't small cells, definitely, for stuff. And all the gates are open. There is like a little bit of like wear and rust from being like, you know, it's a humid area and things haven't been sealed up probably perfectly. You'll also find a room down here that seems to have probably been like maybe like a guard or caretaker room. It only looks like maybe like one person was in there and used it. So could have been guards if there could have been people down here. Could have been just a caretaker if there was creatures down here. There are no supplies that are... There's a small supply room off of it that is empty.
You can keep your golem down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
There is also a room that does seem specifically for animals. Smaller size stuff. A room filled with cages. Like an actual cage room. This is the second floor. Kaz, you're going to go all the way down to a 3rd level basement.
We got so many rooms, y'all.
We got at least 6 floors then.
Yes.
Yeah.
You will find an alchemy lab here. Fairly well intact. A room with a massive what looks to be a magic circle.
Can I, like, Arcana check to try to figure out what this magic circle is?
Sure.
Or do I know?
Go ahead.
Yeah, Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, did I close my character? I did close my character sheet.
That's the biggest mistake you can make, is closing your character sheet.
Yeah, I'm never closing my character sheet again.
Okay.
23. Man, I'm doing good tonight, except for that survival check. I'm doing good tonight.
You are doing very good today. I'm just checking something here. It's a type of... It looks like to be Conjuration Circle. Now, Conjuration Circles relate to both summoning and things like teleportation. There are teleportation circles. So this could have been at one time tried to use to make some kind of either teleportation or summoning, you think. You're not sure which, as the circle is not 100% intact.
And if it's teleportation, we would have a really quick way to school.
Mm-hmm.
Or an escape route.
There are also 3 locked doors down here. Iron doors that have seemingly have very good locks, and quick inspection seems that there's also magically enchanted.
Wait, like magic locks?
Like magic locks.
Damn, my thieves' tools can't get through that.
No, mine can't either.
No.
Remember, rogue.
Yeah.
I've got expertise in it, but damn.
Yeah, the spell Arcane Lock either locks a door or enhances a lock. I believe they kept it the same in this edition. Here, let me just check it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be tomorrow investigating this and prepping some
Any pick on
dispel
locks
magic.
increases the DC by 10. So they were very good locks to begin with. You can tell just by taking a look over it, and Arcane Lock increased it even more.
Who's ready for some magic dispelling and lockpicking adventures?
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing just me and Claude. Just the two.
All right, 3rd floor of this place. So getting to the 3rd floor, there seems to be what appears to be like you can see the broken glass dome above you, kind of from the 3rd floor in the main hall. There are a number of doors that lead off of that room. There's like a main double door that leads off of it, and it looks about 4 side doors off of it out of this floor. The main door leads into a large, what could be called... What would be a good way to describe this? There's an raised vaulted ceiling that again seems to have been made entirely of glass at one point in time of this entire chamber. Within it appears to be sets of it's different from like a greenhouse or an arboretum or something like that, but it appears to be a chamber specifically filled with all kinds of strange plants separated out originally that have kind of overgrown or died off. That looks as almost like kind of scientifically placed. Kind of like, I'd call it like the plant chamber. At the back of it is kind of like a glass wall with doors in it, all kind of broken down, that leads to kind of like a balcony, actually.
Man, they really like glass here, didn't they?
Yeah, it's a shame most of it's broken.
It looks as though large, it probably speaking, probably a lot of it was originally magically treated, but magic doesn't necessarily last forever and needs to sometimes be refreshed or something, or depending on the level of the storm, even magically treated stuff could have been without any spellcaster there to back it up, could have been broken. Very severe storms could have definitely broken it down. The rest of the 3rd floor, as you kind of explore it, reveals what looks to be probably the bedroom of the person who owned this place. So his bedroom was on this chamber, along with a couple of other bedrooms for a second bedroom, which seemed to have been for a woman. Those are going to be on the kind of from when you entered the left side of the building. There's also a number of rooms up here, which one of them seems to be kind of like, I call it like a office study chamber. Off of each of the off of the man's and woman's rooms are secondary rooms, kind of like in the center of the building. The woman's had a dress room, which a lot of the dresses have a lot of damage to them, but some of them might be intact. Off of the man's, that one is locked by an iron door also. That seems to be a chamber off of there. You will notice that the hallways kind of go on the outside of the building. Like these main hallways kind of coming off of the building. So you've got that kind of like center room with all the plants and the hallways coming off to the side. Also on the kind of left side of the building will be a small room which is completely empty right now. You're not sure what it was for, but it's an empty room. On the right side, you will find a chamber all the way at the end of the hall, which seems to be like a room that looks to be a kid's room. But, like, you don't see any bed in there. So that's kind of unusual.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Mm-hmm. There will also be what appears to be a kind of, you can almost call it a library, but it's different than like a library you'd seen before. Rather than like books, it's a large chamber filled with what looks to be like just papers. Like thousands and thousands of papers that are shoved onto these like into like organization on all these shelves and stuff, where they're kind of separated out by like metal pieces put in between them as if they're sorted. The markings on them and a lot of the papers are damaged, so it's like a weird paper library. Unfortunately, a lot of the stuff there is completely damaged, eaten away at. Hard to tell what was in there at all. But yes, it's in a very unusual room. Also up on this floor, there appears to be some kind of like small sitting room. In it, there's a fireplace. There's areas for chairs for people. There's a small pet bed. There's a small bookshelf with looks to be like a lot of some of the books are intact, and they seem to be books that are more for like entertainment, for, you know, you just check them to like read something just for fun. Small like cabinetry with some alcohol in it. A small area with like stuff for smoking, like tobacco based products, more, you know, so more like the actual smoke leaf that's in this area. And there's also another door that seems to be it's not locked, but you don't see any handle. It doesn't open, and you're not sure how to get in. The door just, it has to lead to a room, because there's space on this floor that you're pretty sure you haven't explored, but you just don't see a way of getting in there.
Kick it.
It's a mystery, Carrie.
A mystery I'm gonna kick.
Okay, your foot hurts.
Alright, it was worth a shot. Well, that's usually my
Pull the wolf shots.
kick things.
As I said, it seems like at least on this floor, the hallway kind of goes on the two sides of the area. You actually get a view that there is smaller secondary buildings, because I'm going to say like this building is arranged that you entered into the building heading west. So it is a like north would be to the right, south would be to the left, west is to your top, east is to the bottom. So there seems to be smaller like buildings that are connected here to the north and south that you can see that there's like sort of covered walkways in between. There's also a number of smaller buildings on the property you kind of see from up here on the 3rd floor. Okay, that's the 3rd floor. I'll give you some information about the other floors then, too, just to give you a primary rundown before we worry about some of this other stuff from next time. The 1st floor has things like ballroom, dining hall, kitchen area, servants' quarters, a lot of rooms for, like, entertaining guests for having fun. They actually do have both a greenhouse and an arboretum, which are very different. The arboretum seems like more like a place where there was originally plants that's kind of overgrown, where you could like maybe sit, read, enjoy the sun and stuff like that. There's next to it is a actual sunroom, again, that has like a big glass wall that's been broken down, where like it's less than nature, more that probably there would have been like a small piano and stuff there. There's like a trophy room. There is a library that's partially damaged that still exists. That's a probably pretty decent library. There's a room that when you enter into the hallway near it, the walls are just made of glass to the room, and they are actually intact. So like the glass windows on the outside of that are kind of there, but the room itself has glass walls that you can see into it. So it's very unusual. And it just seems to be like, the room is fairly empty, except for a couple of like tables along the wall, and just like a simple kind of like table in the center, like a coffee table and a number of chairs around it in the center of the room. And it's a very large room for that. So it's very unusual. The green kind of house area is of course overgrown and seems to actually been growing, like mostly probably you can identify there's a number of medicinal or like food-based plants that were probably growing in it that still have managed to kind of keep control of the area to a degree, but everything is still kind of overgrown.
Alchemical ingredients, likely.
Yes. 2nd floor has the normal kind of hallways that are kind of on the outside, only lead to a lot of guest rooms. The 2nd floor seems to be where the guest rooms were, mainly. As you kind of head into the inner chambers of it, you will see also on this floor, the brain fart for a second, and also throat me drink. Sorry. Other than the guest rooms, there are a number of kind of small. There's a room that would be best described as a few rooms that are best described as art rooms, where one of them has statues on display and the other would have paintings on display. Also in this room, also on this floor, you will find, again, a couple more empty rooms. 3 mysteriously empty rooms. And another thing on this floor is another 4 locked doors, similarly sealed up. There will also be what appears to be what would have been like one of these locked, sealed doors with much more heavy iron doors, except it's open. And it seems as though something damaged it to open it.
That's not good.
Inside is a fairly empty room, except in the center of the room are strange scorch marks, like kind of emanating from the center of the room. And also kind of like a weird dark red stain in the center of the scorch marks.
Can I, like, Arcana check to try to figure out if this was, like, a weird fucked up magic ritual?
It seems as though most likely magic was involved with whatever happened in that room. But
yeah.
What actually happened is hard to tell. Like, it looks as though, like, the door was damaged from the inside to come out, though. You know, like, the metal door is bent from the inside to break it
like
open.
Something burst out of the room.
Probably. Or maybe, like, with the scorch marks, maybe there was some kind of explosion in the room.
Damn.
You can tell that that room, like, there's a lot of, like, walls that are, like, wooden. There's definitely, like, a stone frame to the entire house. But there's, like, a lot of, like, wooden walls in places or glass walls and stuff. The thing about this room is, you will note that ceiling, floor, and all 4 walls are reinforced with stone. So this room is probably a lot heavier. You know, it's built up more. And it's in the middle of the building, kind of. It is near to the other 4 sealed doors. But this one is kind of burst open. So, mysteries abound. You've discovered some unusual things in this household. Something weird happened here. But you got a big old manor now that you can rebuild. So,
Woo!
I want you to kind of define what you want. There's still some other buildings to explore, which I'll kind of give you some information on all of them. To give you a full listing. I'll try to come up with a list of it. I'll go over it on stream, but I'll provide it for you in the chat, kind of like that. And I'll try to come up with a page where I can kind of give a loose floor plan for you guys. If you want it, do you want a loose floor plan or don't want to bother?
I think it would be useful.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd love them.
If you want, I could probably find some like basic floor plans you could base it off of.
Because I kind of was trying to like do a little bit of drawing a floor, at least for like if you were gonna explore the first floor, I had that planned out. But you guys were like, we're going to every other floor. I did that during break. Quickly. I was like, I'm just gonna loosely plan out like first floor. So it sounds like you're going to explore that. That's why when you try to like move to other floors, I'm like, why? I'm like, fine, I'll just define what's there and worry about the floor plans later.
Sorry, this happens.
You guys are difficult.
You could always use Don John.
No, because Don John's not going to help, because that's not going to provide the kind of map I want.
Yeah, true. It's going to be more random.
It's going to be completely random.
You could use Incarnate.
That's what I use.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not going to make it like a really detailed map. I might just take like 10 minutes to throw together like a loose, here's a bunch of boxes that define a map, you know?
Yeah, you could use some fucking graph paper.
I was just thinking of doing it in Roll20, because that's graph paper too. And I
Roll20 is just digital graph paper, baby.
It's just digital graph paper, and I could just make squares out of everything because I'm keeping it just simple. Like, there's probably non-squares in the design of these rooms, but I'm not gonna mark them with non-squares. You know, I'm just gonna like be like, yeah, here's some loose stuff.
Squares for us squares.
Fuck you, I'm a circle.
You're such a square, dude. I don't know how to tell you this, bro.
Circle gets the square.
But yes, there are a number of. There's probably half a dozen other buildings on the property.
Hopefully a stable.
Yes, there would be a stable. They are the 2 wings, the north and south wings. A guard place, probably when he might have had soldiers. A stable. A small house kind of at the center of an overgrown hedge maze.
We have a hedge maze?
Well, it's overgrown.
I don't give a shit if it's like full of goddamn Audrey 2s. We got a fucking hedge maze.
What if it's full of Jack Nicholson?
Even better, he was frozen at the end of that movie. Except for some weird ice sculptures with thick ass eyebrows.
I feel like that should be Kazarin's like experiment room, since it's in the middle of a hedge maze, probably pretty far away from the rest of the fucking buildings.
No,
Yeah.
he could burn down the hedge maze.
Yeah.
I'd rather Kazarin burn down the hedge maze than burn down the house.
Okay. So there's
The
the
house is stone.
2 side
There's
wings,
basements for testing stuff.
guard chamber, stable, the house that's in the middle of the hedge maze. There's an overgrown garden, and on the back of it, and around where the balconies are, there's actually a reasonably built like stone staircase in the cliff walls that lead down to a building and a dock down at the water's edge.
Oh, I'm putting a boat there. I'm building a boat and putting it there. We're getting a boat, y'all.
Cool.
So that is to define it on the grounds and the other buildings. So like the stable, the guard room, those are pretty simple. The wing houses we'll talk about in the future. I'll tell you about them as I kind of give a listing on those. I'll try to get the maps together this week. I'll spend some time doing that just to make it interesting and make this feel a little bit more alive. And I will show it on stream, even though probably after showing it once, you know, it's not going to be needed much because I don't know how much you want to do stuff at your house. But let me know, like, if you want to convert any rooms, if there's any rooms that you want to, like, put into this household, what are you going to do to be repairing it? Things like that. I want to know, like, what's your plans for this place? Because it is fairly...
There was a kitchen, right?
There's a kitchen.
Good.
There's a kitchen, like a proper larder. There was an actual room that has magic on it to keep it cold.
Hell yeah, we got a fucking walk-in freezer.
It's more refrigerator than that, but still.
Hell yeah, we got a walk-in refrigerator.
You do, of course, have, like, the wine cellar and bar area, too. And, let's see here. Let me count how many I told you there were. There was... I think... 6... 7, 8, 9... 13... 14 rooms that you don't know how to get into.
14 rooms we don't know how to get it. Okay.
Well, we'll be doing a lot of lockpicking and searching.
And
13,
using Carrie as a battering ram.
13 metal doors
I have a
with
very
iron.
hard head.
13 metal doors with iron and one door that you can't get into at all because you don't know a way to get into it. It's a door, but, like, what's there?
Probably some investigation and figuring out, hey, there's a secret switch or something.
Can I invent a blowtorch?
Maybe.
Cool.
Burning hands.
You kind of have a blowtorch. Your fire turret.
Yeah, that's like more a cone of fire. I need like an inverted cone of fire.
I was going to say you need to fine tune it. Change the nozzle.
I could just cast heat metal for like an hour.
Man. I ran out of space in the notebook I was using for this game. Got to the end.
You need more papper.
I need more papper. Anyway.
How much notes do you have on us? Oh no,
I've been making notes so I remember names and stuff. Let me show you like how many pages it is.
You got to remember, we've been playing for quite some time.
A year.
Yeah, we hit a year, I think.
Yeah.
I actually noticed, and you guys started the first week of 2019.
You mean 2020?
Well, 2020. Sorry.
Yeah, it's 2021.
That'd be
Yeah,
2
God.
years, man.
Look, I ran a campaign that lasted like 2 years and some change.
Oh yeah, I mean we've all been
Granted,
in long
it's only like this many pages because I've been using like a lot of the pages. But for like game notes, this is a lot of them. Just for like little notes of like names and places and stuff like that and things like.
Actually handwritten.
Yeah. And I can tell you that the Frunka was the quartermaster of the Ethereal.
Oh my god, the Ethereal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a name we haven't heard since session 2.
Yeah,
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
Captain Crash from back on that ship.
That dude sure know how to lose money to me in gambling.
He totally did. You gambled the captain a lot. But yeah, we'll end it here. That we kind of will have some maps that I'll kind of show off a little bit of and get some things together this week. I'll spend a couple hours setting that up. It shouldn't take too long again, just to make like a loosely square map, you know, with in Roll20 of like some basics and make some like notes on it for you guys. You
And
know.
the thing is, we can get to class easily. We just take the cart.
Yeah, I mean, again, you're also like 20-minute walk, so I mean that won't cut down
Right.
a lot of time.
But I'm saying if we're running late, 20-minute cart ride, less than a 20-minute cart ride.
Yeah, true.
Carrie can again just be a school bus and fly us.
Yeah, she
I
is
will
magical.
just be the magic school bus.
She is
I will
magical.
fit in the bag
That's
and do
that-
not need to
that's
breathe
not
in it.
that much quicker.
You and Maxwell can hang out in the bag and not have to breathe in it.
Yeah, we'll be bag bros.
Bye, bros.
I'll just stand on the top of the ladder in the bag and just have the bag open.
Mm-hmm.
I can breathe. Actually, I don't need to
I'm
breathe.
gonna turn
I
the
don't need to
bag into
breathe
an
either.
apartment, like a
So-
studio apartment.
We're a bag trio.
My bag of holding is gonna become a studio apartment. I just know it. I'm gonna have like a fucking futon in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the three of us hang out when we're camping. We don't have to be outside.
Yeah, just
Yep.
hang the bag on a tent post.
And maybe next time you'll look into more about how this guy that lived here died, where his like eyes and tongue were and stuff like that. No more information.
Could be the
about that.
bloody room that exploded.
It
Yeah, I'm
could have
thinking
been the
about
bloody exploded room. Mhm.
It
That is an option. A bloody exploded room with eyes and tongue. And that, like, it looks as this place could have had servants, but if he wasn't seen for a while, what happened to all the servants?
Oh, sacrifice to the blood god.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh
you
no,
know,
not the blood god from Blade 1.
because
From
they're not getting
From
paid, they
Blade
don't
1.
come back.
I don't know, the entire, like, a few of them mysteriously disappear, or maybe you don't want to go back. I don't know. There's some kind of story behind it all that I don't know if you want to look into. If you do, you can.
Did you know we were getting a manor? Did you plan on us having a manor?
Not really.
No, I just crit on that roll, and you were like, "Fuck, I guess they're getting a mansion."
Well, as soon as you started searching, I came up with the idea of an abandoned manor, but when you critted on it, I was like, I'll actually tell you about some of the horrible things that happened there.
Radical. I didn't tell anyone all the details.
I know.
Just that, like, there was this
I'm like, you know what that critical deserves? Eyes and tongue.
eyes and tongue. I've been watching Lovecraft Country on HBO Max. This is some Lovecraft Country ass shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, this guy was doing something weird at his place and ended up dying. But again, like, it's like decades since he's been here. It's indiscriminate amount of decades ago.
Indiscriminate amount of decades.
Yeah.
Well, we
Anyway.
got a cool blood manor.
Let's stop for now. Let's give shout-outs to people, where to find them, etc., and stuff like that, as we normally do at the end of the show. We'll, of course, start with Carrie, as we normally do with Mads.
Hi, despite the fact I am not visible, I am currently here.
I mean, you've got your little, like, I guess that's supposed to be Love Mothman.
Yeah, it's
It's
Mothman.
Mothman.
Yeah.
I am Mothman.
Uh-huh.
Who's in
Mothman.
love?
And then we'll go on to, of course, Fish.
Hi everybody, I'm Fish Harlan. This week you can find me starting a cult dedicated to the fallen red shirts of Star Trek the original series. I'm telling you, they're still there. They're trying to send us a message, and I will decipher it.
I like that cult.
Thank you.
Can I be your first member?
Absolutely, you can.
Can I be your first red shirt?
Okay, we are gonna have to ritually sacrifice you. I'm so sorry.
Well, we don't have a Maxwell, so we don't have a Lee, but we do have a Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe. You'll find me here on Tansis' channel. I'll see everyone Saturday for discussing tabletop.
Yes. And then, of course, we have a Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. You can find me being ritually sacrificed. Bye.
To the great red shirts of the sky. Or,
Look, they're
Cheers.
hungry.
they've been...
They're
They hunger. As for myself, Down Van Dracovin. Tomorrow I should be streaming at some point during the day. Don't ask me when yet. I don't know exact schedule. Depends on, this afternoon I was going to stream or go out shopping, and both of them were interrupted when I got bad headache and had to take a lot of pills and take a 2-hour nap. So that was my schedule yesterday or today. So tomorrow we'll find out what I do. Discussing tabletop on Saturday. If you're looking for more RPG shows, there's on Monday 1 p.m. EST Records of Evil. Lawful Evil D&D games in a modern-day Faerun, in which they're an OS, which is basically Fantasy Australia, and, it's a kaiju fight. Because they put kaiju in Australia.
No,
Tight.
Why would they do that?
everything deadly is in Australia.
Well, that's what I was,
Tight.
like, everything is gigantic, poisonous, and also then I added kaiju.
That's some good shit. That's some really good shit.
Mm-hmm. Where Lava Ape fought, Ice Lizard Turtle.
I love it.
Mm-hmm. Then,
So what about
Just
a top
what
hat?
Australia needed.
it's just an Australian. It's not actually Australian, so my terrible Australian accent is a total accurate Ocean accent.
Maybe, yeah, that's just how the accents are there, you
Mhm.
know.
Exactly. I can pick up that up. I'm like, this is totally the correct accent. It sounds awful as an Australian accent, but it's a reasonable facsimile of it.
There's no Australians in Faerun.
Yeah, it's Oceans.
Yeah.
And then I did Legacies of Kain 2 p.m. on the next day on Tuesday, which is Vampire the Masquerade, which they're going to be in Egypt, in Cairo, doing some adventures there. And then, of course, this game every Thursday at 8 p.m. EST in the evening, which next week will finish up their adventures in their household, maybe go to some classes. And I've got a list of events that I kind of want to figure out when and where I'm going to order, I'm going to do on them. They're kind of their college events that I'm going to kind of do for a while. Depending on their choices, they may get a couple extra events, and then there will be like a couple normal ones, and then, of course, some hints at a main storyline again.
I don't want to know what Kaz's hazing ritual is going to be.
Arson.
Oh, come on.
No.
It's magic. They're probably going to have, like, genetically restructure a rabbit or rebuild a rabbit somehow, or,
Invent a better rabbit.
There you go.
Oh, no, you invent the rabbit from that movie.
Silly
Monty
rabbit.
Python?
Yes.
I don't know.
Holy Grail.
Yeah, I'm gonna holy grail a fucking rabbit.
Holy Grail.
Look out, motherfuckers, I'm coming.
Mm-hmm. So, everyone, thanks for joining us. Stay safe, stay healthy out there. Have a good rest of your Thursday. Have a good rest of your week if you're not going to join us for anything else. And we'll see you next time. So until then, farewell.
Bye-bye.